Hi, I'm Feroz Khan, and welcome to Drag and Drop Low Code Unplugged, the podcast where we explore the game-changing impact of low code in software development. Join me in insightful conversations with IT leaders and passionate low code enthusiasts who are at the forefront of this digital evolution. Together, we'll explore how early adoption of low code is giving businesses a competitive edge on a global scale. We'll discuss its impact on software development, dissect its role in transforming businesses, and uncover the ways in which it's reshaping career trajectories. So whether you're a seasoned IT professional or a curious enthusiast, be sure to tune in as we share success stories and unravel the mysteries of low code. Subscribe now and stay tuned for a front row seat to the revolution that's shaping the future of technology. So let's go. Hi Remco, how are you?
Hi, Feroz. I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for agreeing to be a guest.
Yeah, no problem. I really like being invited as a guest and looking forward to our talk.
Yeah, I think like I said to you when we first spoke, a few of my guests have mentioned your name on the episode, so I thought I have to get this guy to be a guest on the podcast. So I'm glad we're finally here.
Yeah. Same wise. And was it hard to get a hold on me or not?
In the beginning it was, I think we had some LinkedIn issues, but we got
Yeah.
there in the end, didn't we?
Yeah.
So that's the main thing. So it'd be good to, I think, obviously from what I know, most of the community would know who you are. But, for those who may not know who you are, it'd be good to start with a bit of an introduction to yourself.
Yeah, okay, no problem. My name is Remco Dekkinga from the Netherlands. I started my IT career 22 years ago as a Visual FoxPro Developer. Not many people know what that is, but it's another visual programming language for GL. And after 5 years, I was that team where I was working was it ended. So we went to at that company we went to Java, and I was like, okay, do I want to start with Java or do I want to do something else? Because the visual programming I liked,
Yeah.
and I put my CV online, and I mentioned just give me some cool stuff to do.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, Van der Meijden reached out, which is one of the first OutSystems clients. And they came to me, they said, well, we had a tender and yeah, it's something called OutSystems. We don't know what it is. Maybe it's something for you to learn. And I looked into it and I was sold from day one. That was end of 2006, so
Yeah.
quite a while ago when I first came in contact with OutSystems. Well, now it's 2024.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
working with
A long
OutSystems.
time ago.
Yeah, that's how I started with OutSystems. That's also when looking at back at that. So I was one of the first working with OutSystems when there was not much in
Yeah.
the platform. It
Mm.
was smaller. Also, the team in Portugal was way smaller.
Yeah.
It was just 20 people, I think.
Wow.
And yeah, from that day on, it's just gradually growing. So the platform is growing. So
Mm.
my knowledge can grow with
Yeah.
new releases, etc. When the forum was first released, I was there, and yeah, I have been always at the beginning of everything that OutSystems released.
Yeah.
So that's also why I think a lot of people know my name
Mm.
because yeah, I'm on the first questions on the forums, on the first Forge components, organizing user groups for the first time. So everything that OutSystems did for the first time, I was there helping out. And I think that's also where people know my name from or know me from. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how I started, and I think that's where people know me from.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And you said when you obviously came across OutSystems back end of 2006 and you were
mhm.
sold straight away. What
Yeah.
was it? Because like you said, it didn't have as many features. What was it that sold you at the time that you thought, okay, this is something I want to take forward?
Yeah, I think it was just as simple as uh, how you build your first application and use APIs. That was part of it already back then, and it was just so simple that you just couple of clicks and you have your REST endpoint or your SOAP endpoint, and you can just use it, um, logging in databases and everything. You didn't have to think about what should be my connection string to the database. Did I forget a semicolon somewhere in one of my lines? No, nothing like that. So you just go directly into what is the knowledge I want to build. So what is the business case and how should it work? And you can focus on that, just on the important stuff and not about, yeah, should it be a semicolon? Should I use a calculation? And from which library should I use the calculation? No, it's just, it's there, it's working. And that is what makes it so appealing to me.
Yeah, yeah. And at that time when you were kind of starting that role, I think, obviously Netherlands, there wouldn't have been that many developers around, if any, right? So did you,
Yeah.
even though obviously you had this amazing opportunity, was there a part of you kind of any, skeptic that, okay, there's a small company from Portugal, I'm about to take on this role, and then beyond this, where will it go?
Yeah, uh, it was, but yeah, I was working directly. So the development team, I started as the first developer, um, and I was working together with some developers from Portugal. So I
Mm,
didn't know who they were. They didn't know
mm,
who I was. But in the end, those are the people that are currently the vice presidents,
yeah,
head of development, uh, currently still working at our systems. A couple of them, some of them left for new
yeah,
adventures. But yeah, the people I work with were the ones that created the platform.
mm,
Um, and I had good conversations with them about the future and their vision, etc. So that helped me with also having the yeah, the confidence that this was their a tool that would be future proof and that would there would be a market fit for these kind of tools.
yeah,
It wasn't called low code back then because the name didn't exist.
yeah, yeah, of course, yeah.
But coming from a 4GL language, so you know the Java, the
Mm,
third generation languages, then you get the visual programming languages, and then you go to low code. It's kind of fifth generation language. I looked at it as this might be the future.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And as you've kind of, you've been doing it for quite a while now. And when was it a point when, you said you were involved in first user groups and things like that? When was it kind of at a point where there was a big enough community in the Netherlands for you to do these user groups and meetups?
Yeah, I think it was that must have been quite a while ago. I think it was Paulo Tavares from OutSystems
Mm,
before he went to Google and now he came back. So
yeah,
he made some switches, but he
yeah,
was community manager global
yeah,
back then. And he organized a user group, or back then it was just a community meeting
yeah, meetup,
in the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Netherlands. And it was at the OutSystems office. And that happened 3, 4, 5 times or something. It's called the Bits and Bytes session back then. And then it stopped. And then there were some changes in the management in the Netherlands from OutSystems. And every time it changed, I asked them, I said, when will those Bits and Bytes sessions come back? What can we expect? How
yeah.
can we do that? Right? Because I missed them. Because
Mm,
that was the point where I was able to talk to other developers in the
yeah.
Netherlands because it was a small community. There were not that
Mm,
many. So from those days, I missed that part. So they did it for a while, then it went away. Um, I think it was because Paulo went to Google,
It
and then
dropped off. Yeah,
that
yeah,
part died. So after a couple of years of asking, they said, "Well, why don't you organize it?"
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so that's when I started organizing them first for my employee. So I had the office space and I could invite
Yeah.
everybody. That was all fine, and then it grew and it grew, and then it was too big to be hosted by just one partner, and that's when we made it a official OutSystems user group. Before that, it was just OutSystems Netherlands meetups or something,
Mhm.
and now it's the user groups, and that has grown now to a global event.
Yes, it has. Yeah, yeah, it's
From
everywhere.
how many locations? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
still part of organizing the one in the Netherlands. Yeah,
yeah. And it must be nice for you that, for some you've kind of, you've been part of that growth. So you've kind of seen like,
yeah,
next step is going to be in Netherlands this year, right? It's been there before. It's obviously
yeah,
been there in the past, but you've gone from the phase of, just a couple of people to
yeah,
thousands attending
yeah.
Netherlands for these
Mm.
big community meetups. It must be quite good for you to, experience that all the way through.
Yeah, true, true. And that also, if you just join our systems now, it's a lot to take. There's a lot of information and a lot of knowledge you have to gain. But back then it was a small application. It
Mm.
wasn't that as big as it is now. And that's I think how I got so much in-depth knowledge about everything is that it grew over years.
Yeah,
And now
yeah.
people say, "How do I get to get as much knowledge as you do?" Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah. Takes time. Yeah, it takes time,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. It takes time. Yeah,
Yeah. And talking about the platform itself, for someone who has used it for, long, it's very rare to find people outside of
Mhm.
Portugal with that kind of experience.
Yeah,
In that time that you've used it, what would you say are some, major releases or things that the platform has released that, at the time, one,
yeah,
you thought that's going to make my job easier, and two, you were just excited to work with it.
yeah. Well, there have been several moments where I was really, really happily surprised. So my first version was 3.1 or 3.2 or something, which
Yeah.
was
Wow.
very, very early. And I was really happy when we moved to version 4.0 and a 4.2 because there, when you hovered over your elements, you get those squares that you knew which level in depth am I, because that is
Yeah.
why we were struggling with those kind of simple issues. Um, and then we got to version 6, and there I think we got into the REST endpoints next to SOAP, which was really added value. We got version 8, I think BPT or version 9,
Yeah.
which was really a big leap forward. In version 10, we got mobile, which was a new
Mm.
thing to learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Version 11, a lot of improvements on the UI. And now with ODC, it's a whole new yeah, platform. It's
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
whole new application.
Yeah.
So I'm also starting to learn that one from scratch as
Yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
some things that I know that work the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things are new and yeah, it's kind of you're never finished learning. That's I
Yeah.
think something generic in IT, but without
Mm.
systems, it's also true. That, yeah, they always come up with
Yeah.
new technologies.
I think it allows the individual to evolve just like the technology, right?
Yeah,
It doesn't allow you to get bored because there's always
yeah,
something,
true.
that's keeping you on your toes to make sure if you want to be the best developer or consultant, you need
Mm.
to make sure you're up to date with everything and know
Yeah,
know
yeah. You
everything.
have to stay ahead of everybody. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And obviously I saw you did a post yesterday about, the new releases in March, that are
yeah,
coming out. So, it'd be good to kind of for you to, I think one of your things you said was, comment about what you're most interested in. So I'd be keen to know what you're most interested in from
yeah,
that. And,
yeah,
you can even talk a bit about it, how that would add value.
yeah. For me, the most interesting ones. are, for me personally, it's the event-driven functionality that is added. Currently, what has been added is the server-side events. But I'm also looking forward, if they're going to release it, and when, I'm not sure. It's
Mm,
front-end events, so that
mm,
you get reactive web pages that just your front end changes because something in the database changes. Your screen gets updated automatically, and that is something I'm looking forward to still. But I'm already really happy with the events that have been added, so I can finally implement the right event-driven architecture,
mm.
which I'm really fond of. So that is one that I'm really happy about. And the other one I'm happy about is the data fabric. And that is, if you have a large enterprise and you have a lot of data sources, you need to fetch something from SAP, you need to fetch something from a legacy database, and you need to combine that data, and you need to make a nice dashboard with all that information. Yeah, and data fabric is taking all these technical steps out of your hands. It makes it really simple for you, and performant and secure. And that is, performance and security are my keywords that I always use and that I really
Yeah,
like. And that is being taken out of your hands. So it's hard to make mistakes with it. And that is another one that is really, I'm really happy with.
yeah, yeah. And I think, like you said, like it's once again, it goes back to it's helping you do your job much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but obviously going on from that, as much as everybody loves the platform, there can be sometimes frustrations and things that the platform doesn't offer yet that you would like to see. Have you got anything like that that is not there yet that you have a problem with that you'd like to see in the future?
Yeah, the one I just mentioned about the front end events. That
Yeah,
that is one. I have built some Forge components in the past that take that out of your hands and do it for you. But yeah, if that is in the platform, it would be really great.
mm,
Sending SMS messages directly out of the platform would be really great. Just more centralized communication. So does it need to be an email, or so the CX
mm,
SMS messages, or maybe a phone call, or an agenda invite, or something like that, that you have something in the system that does
yeah.
all of that for you.
Yeah, yeah. And I think obviously you being an MVP helps that, your feedback is obviously regularly asked for on the platform and how it can be enhanced.
Yes, it's being asked for, but sometimes also it's not being asked for, but I'm giving it.
You're
So
giving it
yeah,
you're
so
extra helpful. Okay.
yeah. So a lot of those MVPs that we have are not shy. Let's say it
Yeah,
that way.
yeah, yeah.
So the platform development team, R&D, we know how to find them. They know how to find us, and we give them information or feedback if they want it or not. They will get it.
They'll
Uh,
get it, yeah. It's up to them if they action it or not.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They sometimes call it
Amazing.
the Dutch directness, but I do see within the MVPs that it's not only the Dutch that do it anymore. It's
Okay,
getting
it's
more.
everybody. Yeah, yeah. Amazing. And in the time you've been kind of working with OutSystems, is there one or two kind of noteworthy projects without obviously mentioning customer names that you can talk about that you've kind of, really, you know, enjoyed working on and delivering? And if you could tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I did several large core replacement applications. So the first one is at Van der Meijden. It's insurance handling, and there the biggest focus I had uh, was on the document generation. So because they are handling insurances, you need to send a letter to a customer, you need to send a letter to the other party, you need to send a letter to the insurance company, you need to send a letter to. So it was an application that was generating a lot of documents, really a lot. And we got into a squeeze where the front end server that was generating the documents was not fast enough anymore. It needed to create more and more documents. And that's when I started investigating. So I created some plugins to speed up that generation of documents. And we went down from 30 seconds per document to less than a second per document.
Wow.
And that was
Yeah.
really great. It would generate for different insurance companies with their logos and
Wow.
everything was in there. And that was really great to build and to see it working also from within OutSystems. Uh, and it was a lot of trial and error. I made some mistakes there with some queuings and some printers that would generate PDFs that would then just stop on the server with a screen on the server which nobody would see. So sometimes just the whole queuing just died, and then
Yeah.
we were wondering what's happening. Is something on the
Yeah.
server? So, yeah. So there was a lot of investigation and a lot of knowledge gained there also from the platform and outside of the platform. And then I switched to another company where I helped creating the development team. So I was really there with hiring and with training, setting up the DevOps factory. So make sure that monitoring was in place and that the development team knew what to do, that everything was settled. And then we could deliver another core replacement service for departure to arrival. And yeah, that was also a big project, which I'm really proud of that I was part of it. And currently, I'm still working on another core replacement service for the rail and trucking industry,
Mm.
so the transport, and that's also going to be massive when it is live. It's in Germany, and it's about 1 million
Mm.
containers to be transported each year, at
Wow.
least.
Wow.
So yeah, we cannot drop a container, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it works flawless and
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. And you know, one question I had for you is obviously because OutSystems is globally and there's customers all over the world. But obviously Netherlands is a very big hub for
Mhm.
for for not just developers but customers as well. And there's other European countries that haven't adapted to low code as much as Netherlands.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I know why that is. It's when OutSystems started, um they had a guy from the Netherlands that yeah, invested, sponsored somehow, uh, had a little bit of a saying into the direction of OutSystems,
Ah, okay.
and he was working in the energy sector, and that's also what you see in the Netherlands, that
Hmm.
almost every energy related company
Yes, yes.
is working with OutSystems, and that is what that person was focused on, is to make sure that this tool will work for the energy sector. And I think one of his requirements back then was that he wanted to have an OutSystems office in the Netherlands, and that's
Okay.
why we had the first sales outside of Portugal. Um, and I think that's where originally this came from.
Mhm.
And yeah, it has grown like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's why I think the Netherlands is one of the biggest OutSystems uh, countries
yeah,
globally. Yeah.
yeah. And I think the community itself also, it's been a country where a lot of the Portuguese people have been happy to move to work.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure why that is. I've never asked why they want to move to
They
the
obviously don't
Netherlands.
like the warm weather.
It's not the weather, at least. It's not the food. It's not the weather. I'm not sure.
I guess it gives you that international experience, but you're still not too far from home, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's also that in the Netherlands, almost everybody speaks English.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you don't have a lot of effort you have to do to get
Mm,
yourself heard in the Netherlands.
yeah, yeah,
Even if you do grocery shopping, you can just do it in English. It's no
mm,
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that helps.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And we're finding, obviously, as years go on, there's a lot, there's much kind of very kind of well-known companies adapting low code and out systems,
Yeah.
compared to, you see it every year, right? You
Mhm.
yourself probably is the best example. You could see from 2006, 7 till now,
Yeah.
the kind of caliber of companies are adopting
Yeah.
using out systems.
Mhm.
Over those years, why do you think that now companies are a bit more open to using low code compared to going down the traditional route?
I think it is also people are seeing that it is here to stay. So low code is not going anywhere soon. In the question you asked in the beginning, right? Why did you trust OutSystems as a new direction? Um, it's really also Gartner and Forrester have named low code as a specific region. And that's also why more and more companies are seeing that, yeah, it is stable, it is generating your code, it's faster, it's not going anywhere soon. And I think that gives them the trust to invest in low code. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also it's when one company does it, I guess other
Mhm.
companies see that, okay,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
they've adopted low code. Maybe we should look
Correct.
into this thing.
Yeah, but they have to have a success story, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, it will end. It will go downwards really quickly. And I think with the successes that OutSystems has made in the past, they got Vopak as the first company that is on the stock market, and I was working there also, and that
Yeah.
was a success. And after that, more and more companies saw that, hey, if they can do it, well,
Mm.
we can do it too. And
Yeah.
that's how you get to these larger customers.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a reference point for them, isn't it?
Yeah,
To say, okay, well, this has been done. If they've done it for them, then surely we should at least be open to a discussion.
yeah, true, true.
Yeah. And since you're in the Netherlands and there's another big player in low code in the Netherlands,
Yes,
founded in the Netherlands, have
yeah.
you ever dipped your toes or thought, let me just see what it's
Uh,
like?
yes, yes, I did. Um, because we cross each other. I can just we
Yeah,
have OutSystems, we have Mendix, so
yeah.
the big two players in the Netherlands. Um, but probably from Mendix side, they have the same story as I'm telling now from our system side. But we had some customers that were working with Mendix, and they were not happy.
Mm,
Performance wise, it wasn't working, or architecture wise, something was wrong. And they said, well, we don't believe in this platform. We chose to go with our system. So can you help us rebuild it? And rebuilding it was quite straightforward. Um, and then there could be some things that could be just a developer problem, right? That
yeah.
has been built, but that gets blamed onto the platform.
Mm,
I'm not sure about that. I never looked into those
yeah,
details,
yeah.
but yeah, you see that there are customers that do a switch from one to another platform because they are not
Mm,
happy with it, and they blame the platform.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm not 100% sure if that is always the truth. Uh, I did went once to the Mendix headquarters, had a nice chat with
Nice
the
office, I think they've got, haven't they? Yeah, yeah,
yeah in Rotterdam. I
yeah,
went there, had a nice chat with the manager of development, I think it was, and I just asked straightforward some questions about the performance because I
yeah,
got those from customers,
yeah.
and there is indeed a very slight difference, and that is because OutSystems generates the code before it deploys, and Mendix deploys and then generates when you load the page. Both of them have their own benefit.
Mm,
So from our system side, it's fast from step one because it is already
yeah,
generated upfront, but the publishing takes a little bit longer. And if you do a little change, you have to republish, and that takes a bit longer. And on Mendix side, it's the other way around. So if you have a little change, you just push it forward, and it's there, it's live, it's fast.
Yeah.
But then the first renders will take a little bit
Mm,
more time.
yeah.
So that's the way the basis of both platforms have been set up. And that's also why there is a little bit difference in
Yeah.
performance.
Sure.
It
Sure.
seems like to me that that was a very easy one to blame on Mendix, but not blaming anyone. It's just
Not always
a
the case.
different
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
to have their core. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And as someone, you've obviously helped, with these user groups and meetups and training sessions, and you must have come across people who were not keen on low code out systems, skeptics, and
Yes.
what would be some, a conversation example, or what would be a message to those people who kind of are still, today still skeptical.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I would say just look at the clients that are moving to low code and what they can do with it. And it's normally I just avoid the real hard code, uh, high code developers uh, because there are some things that I don't want to build in low code. I don't want
Yeah.
to build a game. I don't want to build a connector to the stock exchange market that will beat other competitors with a 0.001 microsecond because then I can buy that stock for
Yeah.
cheaper
Yeah.
than the other ones, right?
Yeah.
I'm not keen on those kind of applications. There's a niche. High code is the way to go. Maybe
Mm.
even not even high code, but assembler.
Yeah.
And it's true that I really don't even want to touch. But 90% of what is being built by developers globally can be built with low code. And yeah, if you have somebody that is a die-hard programmer in Java and doesn't want to move, I said, okay, that's fine. You don't need to move, right? You can still work where you are and do
Mm.
whatever you want. I don't mind, but you will miss an opportunity by speeding up, not waking up in the middle of the night because the semicolon on line 512 was wrong, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want that.
Yeah.
At least I don't want that. Maybe they really like that and that is how they want to live. It's fine for me.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm not going to convince somebody that doesn't want to be convinced.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think it obviously helps in probably in Netherlands that, like I said, it's not only OutSystems, it's Mendix. So low code in general is
Yeah,
in the Netherlands very well known. So
yeah.
compared to some countries where
Mhm.
some people still don't even really know what they
True.
are or haven't heard of them really.
Yeah, but I think also with Microsoft, with
Yes,
apps, it's
perhaps, yeah.
a broader attention.
Yeah.
Um, even though I don't see a real yeah, threat from Power Apps to Mendix or OutSystems.
Mm,
It's a different level of low code. So, or you want to build just smaller apps
yeah.
for internal use, or you want to build core replacement systems that run your whole business. And I think that's where the biggest difference is, and it helps. So if Microsoft focuses on low code, it will help the whole low code community.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. And since you've been working in the OutSystems ecosystem for a while, for various companies,
Yeah.
last year you decided to break away,
Yep.
and found
Yep.
Evergreen.
Yeah.
It'd be good to kind of for you to explain one, you're thinking about it, the timing, why now, and two,
Mhm.
your goals and aspirations for your own company in the future.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the right now, I just started my own company right now because I was within Linkit. I was kind of yeah, I was the head. I had 60 people underneath me, and of the head of the OutSystems team.
Yeah.
60 people globally, so a couple of them from Germany, in South Africa, and the Netherlands. Um, and I was kind of like hitting
The roof.
the roof.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was getting more like, how can I grow further? Where can I?
Mm.
What would be my next step? And I was starting to miss the hands-on coding a little bit, because
Okay.
I'm technical from the beginning,
Yeah,
and getting to 60 people and then maybe growing even to 100, it will just take away your focus from
yeah,
the technical parts. And that is what I was starting to miss. So it's not just why did you start right now?
yeah.
It took me a year to think about, I think maybe even longer. Do
Wow.
I really want to start for
Yeah,
myself? Do I see other
yeah.
opportunities
Mm,
for myself? What can I do? And yeah, that's when I finally decided I will start for myself, start my own company, and hopefully in the future I might grow to have an own set of employees. I'm not sure yet. Maybe it's partners, not employees. I don't know.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, I want to focus really on architecture, low code architecture, performance issues, security issues, guiding, coaching teams. So you're working with OutSystems, you have a team. How do you get them to that next level where they can really be fast and uh, technical better? So how can you improve them
mm,
if you don't have somebody on top of them that can
mm.
guide them? And I think I'm that guy that could help a lot of companies getting to that position and to help them guide their team. Uh, and if I'm going to work for one customer or for one client or for one partner, I'm again stuck into that
Yeah, sure.
one company where I can only train those people. And I really
Those
want,
people, yeah.
yeah, and I want to share my knowledge broader uh, with a lot of other companies, partners, and yeah,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
they get into any problem, yeah, I would love to help them to
yeah.
get to the next step.
Amazing. I think you obviously your reputation itself is a good kind of backbone to have going into your own company. And, there's
Yeah,
many people that know you, so that definitely
mm,
helps as well. So
yeah,
now I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing your journey and your views. It was really good to
yeah,
finally get you on and, get some time with you. And um, I think, a lot of people can learn a lot from you. And I'm interested to see, how your company goes, and, we'll keep in touch and maybe speak again in the future.
yeah. Well, thank you very much for having me here, and yeah, looking forward to stay in touch, and also for all those people that are listening or watching. Yeah, just follow me on LinkedIn, and I will do some updates so now and then with the latest news on our system. So
Sounds good. Amazing. Thanks, Remco.
thank you.
Take care. Thank you for listening to today's episode, which is brought to you by iTrack. We are a leading staffing firm that solely specializes in supplying both contract and permanent low-code professionals to organizations globally. Navigating the niche landscape of the low-code market requires the best talent, and we recognize its critical importance for our clients. Whether you're a company looking to strengthen your team, an individual seeking the next career move, or someone entirely new to the world of low-code, we're here for you. Our extensive experience and in-depth market knowledge enables us to quickly pinpoint the ideal candidates while offering expert advice and support at every stage of your low-code journey. Reach out to us through our website or connect with me directly on LinkedIn. I'd be happy to assist you. Thank you once again for joining us today. We'll be back next week with another insightful episode. Until then, take care.